Hi, welcome back everyone. Our today's session is on data analytics. So what do we plan to achieve at the end of today's session? So you should have a good enough understanding of what is data analytics, what is the use of data analytics, what is the process of data analytics, what is the places where data analytics is effective, what is CAAT, what is continuous auditing and monitoring, and what are the different continuous auditing techniques. So what exactly is data analysis or analytics as they call it? So it's basically a tool which the auditor can select and analyze full data sets for continuous audit or monitor key organizational data for abnormalities or variances. So with this tool, the auditor can continuously do audits or monitoring of the key organizational data, which will actually give an analysis and a selection for finding any abnormalities or variances. So where do I use? So if this is what is data analytics, then where do I use it? I actually check whether the current controls are effective or not, whether there are any anti-fraud procedures and controls in place or not. I will be able to find out business process errors if I do continuous auditing and continuous monitoring. Again, this will give rise to business process improvements. In case there are exceptions coming out of it, that will also be triggered. Frauds or deviations would also be triggered. In case there are poor data qualities, that will also come out. And I will be able to do, as an auditor, a risk assessment at the planning stage itself, because I will have already had the data of this data analytics, which should have come from the continuously monitoring tool. So what is the process? So basically the auditor needs to define the scope and then obtain the data, validate the data, execute the test, document the result, review the result, and retain the result. So data analytics is very effective when the auditor actually is doing certain kinds of activities like combining the logical access file, checking it with the HR master file for authorized users. So the logical access file might have more amount of users than the HR master file. So then there is a discrepancy. Ideally, it should be same. Then combining file library settings with data from change management systems and comparing them with authorized events. So whatever changes which happens in the system should actually be authorized and should pass through a proper change management system. So all of these library settings should have a corresponding system out there. Matching ingress and egress in physical security logs for tailgating. So tailgating is someone trying to push in through a person who is actually swapping in his or her card and getting inside the facility. Table or system configuration settings, test logical segregation of duties, and test system conversions. So we come to CAAT. So CAAT is nothing but computer assisted auditing techniques. With CAAT, it actually allows us to gather and analyze data during an IS audit or a review process. Systems have different hardware and software, so it becomes very difficult for an auditor to actually practically check the consistency of the things, which a CAAT audit technique allows it to do. So a CAAT audit technique generally consists of a generalized audit software, a GAS, a utility software, a debugging and scanning software, a test data, application software, tracing and mapping, and expert systems. So what is GAS? Generalized Audit System. So what is it? So it actually allows file access. So as I explained, files could be stored in different formats, and records could be in files could be in different file structures, records could be in different formats. It will allow uniform reading of it. It would allow file reorganization, sorting, indexing, merging, linking. It would allow data filtration based upon certain conditions. It will allow statistical functions to happen, say sampling, stratification, frequency analysis, and also arithmetical functions, operators, and functions. So CAAT basically with all these features, where is it used? So it's used when pasting of details of transactions and balances, analytical review procedures, when an auditor is doing the compliance testing of general controls, IS general controls, and application based controls, penetration testings, network and operational systems vulnerability assessments, application security testing, and source code security scans. So while using CAAT, these are the following issues which one should consider. One should see whether there is an ease of use, because it's a new system, it's a new tool, it's a new technique. So that portion has to be considered. Training requirements of the people who are going to use this tool needs to be brought in. So there could be complexities of the coding and maintenance, so that has to be brought in. Use flexibility, installation requirements. So what exactly installations are required and what parameters would be required on that, that has to be checked. Processing efficiencies, software reliability. So a particular CAAT software should be reliable to throw out the required data which the auditor can use. Data confidentiality and integrity should not be lost at whatever the consequences are. Recording a proper timestamp. When a particular event has happened, a proper timestamp gets recorded onto that. And obtaining permissions for installation from the auditee team. That's the most important thing. The auditees will have to give a permission such that on their systems these softwares get installed. So the biggest advantage of CAAT is that it gives you an assessment of a real-time or in real-time environment, near real-time environment. So mostly it is real-time or to the possible max near real-time. So there are 5 types of automated evaluation techniques. So it could be a systems control audit review file and embedded audit modules. It could actually be the snapshots where it would capture the snapshots. It would be audit hooks where any auditing structures would get captured. Integrated test facility and continuous and intermittent simulation would. So what are the advantages and disadvantages while using CAAT? So, so CAAT basically captures problems as they occur. Since it's a live tool, so it captures the problems as they occur. It brings down delays, planning time, inefficiencies, etc. because things are brought up in a real time. It is costly as a tool. And initially, since it's a new technique and a new tool, so auditors might find it little resistant to trust an automated tool. So with this, we come to an end to our session of today, and our next session will be on reporting and communication techniques. Thank you. Thanks everyone.